Today we are talking about Merit Beauty. I'm a little bit obsessed with Who What Wear. I'm always buying the new Who What Wear collection. Hey, I'm Neelou. Welcome to my channel. Mostly on my Instagram, you'll probably see my love for Who What Wear. I'm always buying their new collection at Target. I read the blog all the time and I have for years and years. So when the Merit Beauty team reached out to me and wanted to send me products to try, I was like, hell yeah, I'm on board. The approach is kind of less is more. I thought it was right up my alley because especially during the pandemic, I haven't been wearing much makeup. All of their products are paraben-free, sulfate-free, artificial fragrance-free, sensitive skin safe. They're cruelty-free and vegan with recyclable packaging, which I think is great, and a reusable makeup bag, which I thought was so cute. It's a little corduroy makeup bag and apparently it's machine washable, which is great. They did send these products to me for free. I promise you that did not affect any of my opinions. A lipstick is not gonna buy my affection. Let's get started with me applying this makeup and wearing it throughout the day, and at the very end, I'll come right back here for my final thoughts. I'm gonna start with what would be my first step always, which is Complexion. This is the Ochre Perfecting Complexion Stick. This is essentially supposed to work all over your face, but I guess since this whole line has this premise of less is more, you're not really supposed to cake this all over your face. So I'm just gonna use like a tiny bit. I think this is nice. I had to build it up a little bit more than I would like. It's a little bit thicker than I would like to put on my entire T-zone or face. It's more like something I would definitely dab into certain sections. Now that the concealer foundation minimalist situation is on, this color actually seems pretty perfect for me. Again, it's ochre, very cute packaging, very minimal, very chic. I'm gonna do what I always would do next, which is my eyebrows, and I'm using the volumizing pomade in the color Black Brown. I'm gonna just put this directly on my eyebrows. Usually I would fill in my eyebrows before I did this, and I will do the little backwards trick first and then brush it out. I think it did a decent job of filling my eyebrows in. I would prefer to fill them in before using this, like I said, but we'll see how it wears throughout the day. The next thing I'm gonna do is use the cheek color, which is in the color Beverly Hills. They say that this is a soft peach shade, so we'll see how it looks on me. I'm debating if I want to put this on my fingers or apply it directly to my face. I think I'm gonna go with the fingers just because I never know what I'm gonna get into when I'm using cream blushes for the first time. I'm really struggling here. I'm just gonna go for it. A nice tint of color. I'm just gonna keep piling this on. I think definitely a layery type of thing. I think we ended up at a nice point. I think I slightly overdid it in person, but on camera it looks fine because the lighting's kind of washing me out. Interesting texture. It's a little bit oily, not as like creamy as I want, a little bit more slippery, but I actually don't mind that. At the start of my channel, I don't think I ever really used highlighter, and then I started kind of getting into highlighter daily. I think a natural kind of, for me, sheer highlight is really nice. It really highlights the features, which is literally exactly what it's supposed to do. Highlights the features really well, and I think it's a great complement to very natural everyday makeup, and I'm excited to see how this looks. I got the color Kava, and this is officially called the Highlighting Balm. I'm just gonna be a little bit bold and put this straight on my face. This line of products, I have now realized that the putting products directly on your face from tube is a thing. It will work with this line of products with Merit Beauty. One thing that I was slightly confused about is this brush. It's super cute and like the perfect size for a lot of things, but I don't know what to do with it because it's literally a brush and there's no powder in here. Next, my favorite, lip products. This is the tinted lip oil in the color, in Farsi, we would say Marrakesh, so that's what I'm gonna go with because it's probably most accurate. This is a really pretty bright peach. These tones are the exact nude, slightly pink tones that I always gravitate towards, so I think this will be right up my alley. I really like this so far. I think think this is probably my favorite product right now. This lip oil is definitely an oil. It's very slippery, it's very sheer, but actually really nice buildable color. It feels very like fluffy on the lips. It's very light, it's very, like I said, slippery, but not too slippery. I really like this, and I like the amount of color that it deposited onto my lips. I'm actually impressed with the eyebrow volumizing pomade as well, but I think I need to wear these throughout the day for me to actually, you know, can be able to tell what I think about them, how they last, how long they last. Let's put on this mascara. It is their Perfect Black Lengthening Mascara. For me, just off the bat, I don't have very long lashes. They're also very thin. I always use an eyelash curler if and when I'm wearing mascara, which is not often lately. But since there's no eyelash curler in this box, I'm not gonna curl my lashes. So it'll be nice to see how this holds a curl, how it helps naturally curl my lashes. Personally, I think I look more for volume than I do for length, but we'll see if this does anything to either one. It kind of looks like I'm not wearing any mascara, but it also looks like I naturally have a little bit more lash than I do. So I think if you already have slightly fuller lashes, this will probably work better on you. Would I buy this alone just to use on my lashes? No, because if I'm wearing mascara, I want it to look like I'm wearing mascara. But I think for something that I could swipe on every day, like I think I could probably swipe on 50 coats of this and not have it clump, which is really nice. The wand initially reminded me of L'Oreal Voluminous. It's probably a little bit thinner than that, and the formula is definitely very thin. I like that it doesn't clump. I've done quite a few coats now. I can't really see that I have mascara on like from far away, but I like the way it looks so far, so we'll leave it on. I think the real test for this, we'll see if it flakes, we'll see if it gives me raccoon eyes, because I'm always having to set under my eye when I wear mascara these days, because I just like, my eyelids are oily, I sweat the mascara off, I get raccoon eyes under my lower lash line. We will see how this fares throughout the day. Hey, it's my half day check-in. I didn't really powder my face. I kind of tiny little, like barely even like flecked little powder, but you can see where my face is red and why I put a little bit of foundation in that area usually. The lip tint is completely gone, and I made the smart decision to eat super like oily pasta right after I put the makeup on. Oddly enough, like the color lasted really well. It kind of almost reminds me of the YSL Rouge Volupte oil balm that I really liked in the color Chase Me Nude. I still love that one, and I have one. I just don't know where it is, but kind of reminded me of that, because even though the actual product fades, the tint is still there. I really like the brow thing because it kind of looks like I filled in my brows, but I did not. The highlighter's still there, but the blush I'm not really thrilled with. I will keep you updated, and I'll check back at the end of the day with a like major update, but I just wanted to show you. Concealer looks like it's decent, like it's still there, hanging on. Hey guys, it's about 11 p.m. I am pretty tired, actually about to go to bed, so I thought I would check in before bed. As you can see, my lip product is completely gone, and really the color is pretty much gone as well. I really like how the eyebrow stuff lasted. I'm very shocked that none of the mascara ran, and I was actually like rubbing my eye earlier too, so I'm actually pretty impressed. I don't think it gave me much in the way of lash lift and volume, but I'm impressed that it didn't flake or like give me the little raccoon eyes. The concealer looks like it's like there decently. I think it actually has pretty good staying power, because you can see exactly where I put it. You see exactly where I told you my face gets red. So the only problem with using that as like a multi-purpose face stick is that it's not like liquidy or thin enough to put all over my face. Like I wouldn't want to cake my face with like a concealer stick, but I actually do like how it lasted. I might have to find out a better way to like blend the thing. So yeah, overall, you can still see the highlighter. There it is. Lip product is gone. Blush is kind of there, but I think that's more like my actual facial redness versus the blush. I would say, yeah, interesting experience, but I'm gonna go to bed and I will give you a full recap of my thoughts right after this. It's been about a couple weeks since I got these products, so I really feel like I have a well-versed opinion in what I like and what I don't like. Obviously, everyone's skin is different, everyone's preferences are different, so I just want to give a thorough review. I'll start with the first product that I put on my skin, basically. It was the Perfecting Complexion Stick in the color Ochre. This thing is interesting. It's kind of supposed to be your one and done product, I think, for your complexion. So it would go, let's say, under the eyes, like I put it, would go around the face, it would go everywhere, basically. I think the whole approach for minimalist beauty is that you wouldn't really use this like foundation, put it on your finger and blend it out situation. I found this product a little bit hard to blend. I don't know why, and it actually kind of reminded me of the Marc Jacobs Accomplice concealer. I think this will be more of a go-to for me for like blemishes and little spots on my face where I don't feel the need to blend out as much. To compare it to a brand that's still in that kind of minimalist, low makeup aesthetic is Glossier, and I think this compared to the stretch concealer, this kind of blows that out of the water in terms of coverage, I would say, and like pigmentation. For me, the stretch concealer was horrible because I felt like it didn't have any coverage. Like, what's the point of even using concealer if you need concealer? Like, you clearly want to conceal something. That's my little comparison. That one was very creamy, very lightweight. This is a lot more pigmented, a lot thicker. Next is the volumizing brow pomade. I got the color Black Brown. This thing is actually like life-changing. I have tried every single brow product that is like very popular mainstream, from, you know, Benefit Gimme Brow to Glossier Boy Brow to the Essence Make Me Brow, which is supposed to be a cheap dupe of the Benefit Give Me Brow. This has blown all of those out of the water for me. This is truly, like, my mom tried to steal this from me because it's that good. I've put this on without filling out my brows, and I think it's probably given me the best kind of even, fluffy, voluminous eyebrow coverage I've ever gotten. I am really impressed with this. It's kind of the perfect consistency for me. It really went on smoothly. It dries really nicely and really has a nice hold, whereas Glossier Boy Brow, Benefit Gimme Brow, none of those had enough coverage for me. The next one would be the Blush Bomb in the shade Beverly Hills, which they call a soft peach. At first when I tried it, I was a little bit confused, like I couldn't get it on. I kept layering it and it just wouldn't work, but I think I learned a little bit better how to use this product. I mean, personally, I have gotten it to work by applying it directly to my face. I was just a little bit confused. Like, I don't know. The next product is the highlighting balm in the color Cava, which is just a beautiful light champagne. I do like this because for a highlighter, especially for kind of an everyday highlighter, it works really well, and you can put like a very small amount and just get a very natural highlight. So this was definitely one of those products that I liked. If you want like a heavier stroke, maybe this product's just not for you because you're gonna have to layer a ton. But I think like 1 or 2 quick layers of this product and applying it directly to the face is probably where I would go with this. Next, we'll go for the lengthening mascara in the color Perfect Black. This one is an interesting one. I thought this product worked really well, and I think it did exactly what it said it was gonna do, but it's not for me. So that's not to say that I think the product is bad per se. I just think that it's not the kind of product that I would want for my lashes. It's a lengthening mascara, and like I said in the earlier bit of this video where I was putting the makeup on, I need a more volumizing mascara, and if there's also lengthening, that's great, but mostly I need volumizing, and that's just me. Also, this is like super duper 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 waterproof. Like, it will not run, it will not flake, but it was really, really hard to remove at night. Tried to take this off with my Clinique Take the Day Off Cleansing Balm, which is straight up like, it mimics oil, and oil gets off pretty much everything. It didn't work, so then I had to go in with micellar water.
You guys, this mascara is still on, and I used my heavy duty.
It didn't budge. It did not budge all day. So if you are big on like your mascara not budging and you want lengthening, I think it's nice. And I also love how beautiful all their packaging is, but especially this is like some YSL vibes, but much cleaner and much more affordable. Last but definitely not least, it's their Shade Slick tinted lip oil. I got the color Marrakesh. I'm wearing it right now. I love this product. It's basically like a tinted oil, but it doesn't feel like an oil. It's not sticky at all, which I liked. It goes on well. It lasts a decent amount of time, and even when it fades or like wears off throughout the day, the color stays. This reminded me a lot of the YSL Rouge Volupté Balm. Maybe the color is not an exact match, but the formula really reminded me of that, but I actually think I like this better than the YSL. This is probably one of my favorite products. Definitely a close second would be this brow pomade. I love these 2 products, and I will definitely repurchase. There you go. That is my overall final thoughts on the Merit 5-Minute Beauty line. Really impressed with these products. I do think that there's some room for improvement, but there's no line of makeup where every product's gonna work for one person. I hope you found this review helpful. Please comment below, let me know what you thought. If you do want to try any of these products, you can use the link in my description. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe for more videos just like this.